shortly back there? It's time.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you to this Eden Prairie Planning Commission. The date is Monday, May 14th, 2012. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. First item on the agenda is the actual approval of tonight's agenda. Is there any changes that anyone needed to make? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Moving on is the minutes, the approval of the minutes for the April 23rd, 2012 meeting. Did anyone have any changes or additions that they would like to make? I understand it was a pretty quick meeting. Any changes? Okay.
Second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Actually, I need to abstain. I was not there. Everybody else was here, so it was okay? Okay. Thanks, Julie. The next for public hearing is variance 2012-01. The location of the project is 15195 Martin Drive. The request is for a parking setback variance from 10 feet to 5 feet. With that being said, with the proponent of the project, please come forward. Tell us a little bit about your project. State your name and last name for city record, please, and give us your address.
I'm Cindy Eddy, the director of the prop shop.
Okay.
Okay, the prop shop is a resale shop free store in Eden Prairie, and we take donations from the community, and we give things to families, clothing, housewares, blankets, sheets, towels, furniture, and we have 10 to 12 families coming through a day. They're referred to us from the food shelf, churches, schools, and families who are just in trouble. Anyway, the resale shop pays our expenses. So people donate to us, we sell some of it, and we give a lot of it away. So here's the deal. We are on a pie-shaped piece of property surrounded by MnDOT land, which we've tried to purchase some, but we've had some trouble with not wanting us to do that. So we're on this pie-shaped piece of property, and we were going to add on to the building because we just really need a lot more space. And so the piece that we're adding on is like a triangle. And what we're asking for is to be able to park, instead of 10 feet away from the lot line, 5 feet, that to give us enough space to be able to add on to this building.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We'll go to city staff, and if we have any questions, we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Mr. Franzen, will you take us through the staff report, please?
Mr. Chairman, this variance meets the three-part test for reasonable use, unique circumstances, and neighborhood character, and the staff recommendation as the commission would recommend approval of final order 2012-01.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Seeing that this is a public hearing, is there anyone out in the audience that has any comments or concerns regarding this project? Okay. Not seeing any. Commissioners, do you have any questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Just because I volunteer at the prop shop from time to time, I can't participate or vote on this.
Understood. Thank you. Commissioners, anything else? Mr. Francis, since that takes us one shy, do you have any concerns with that at all?
No, we have a legal quorum because we have 5 members.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Not seeing any concerns. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, move to close the public hearing.
Second.
With motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, move to recommend approval of final order 2012-01.
Second.
Second. Motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations. You move forward with the project. Thank you very much. I wish we got a clap under everyone like that. Thank you very much.
That's quite a crowd for that.
Hello, sir. The second one is variance number 2012-02 by the City of Eden Prairie. Location is Round Lake Park at 16691 Valley View Road. The request is for a shoreland structure setback from 200 feet to 100 feet to construct a play structure. And with that being said, we'll move on to city staff. to give us our presentation.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Just to share a little bit with the commission tonight, Round Lake is our oldest community park. It was actually master planned in 1968. Construction didn't take place until 1972. But obviously, being a park that is of that age, there's been some problems with some of the facilities. And actually, about a year ago, the Parks, Recreation, Natural Resources Commission started talking with the staff about how can we breathe some new life back into Round Lake Park. Obviously, the beach was one of the, kind of the gems that, as we saw some fears over water quality, and I'll call them fears because it was only for a short period of time. People felt that water wasn't safe to swim in. We've had any number of water quality studies that show that the water is perfectly safe. But how do you attract people back in? In fact, if you remember, probably about 5 years ago, there was a grand reopening. Council showed up. We did a whole bunch of publicity, but still didn't get the turnout we expected. So with that, we started looking at where and how do we revitalize this park. And so we hired Brower and Associates to take a look at it, and working with our staff, they came up with a master plan that looks like this. And I'm going to show you the entire master plan, only from the aspect that this is something that will be done in phases. The entrance will continue to remain the same. However, what changes is the beach area and the ball fields and some of the parking. But that being said, all we're bringing forward to you tonight is actually what we're calling Phase 1. Phase 1 is the area that's the beach area. And this is the master plan to basically eventually we'll have kind of a roundabout or drop-off area here. But the play area that's on the north end along the shoreline will be relocated into 2 play containers. There'll be a splash pad in the center. There will be a lawn area with some umbrellas and picnic tables. And basically the circulation will go around the current beach area. To kind of show you the footprint, and I like the nice inflatable bear that always shows up when you use Bing, but he's actually located about where the center of the splash pad will be. So to give you a perspective, this red line that I've drawn on here will be the new boundary for the turf and the development area. You can see right now the playground that's in this location actually is about 50 feet from the water's edge. And that's actually the third playground that we had at Round Lake. 2 of them have been, one of them actually in the 87 Superstorm, you could slide off the slide and into the water when the water came up from the Superstorm. So that's how close that play area was. The other play area originally was over in this location here. So what we are proposing to do with this redevelopment is to relocate that play area, and from the north end and where it comes in, this dashed line indicates the 100-foot setback. And so you can see that the structure basically right in this location touches that 100-foot setback. That's the reason for the request for the variance. The other play container over here is outside of that area. And then just to show one final thing is essentially a lot of the area that currently is play area is going to be restored into a turfed area. The area up in this location will be turfed, and all of the drainage within this area will be handled through basically infiltration. So I don't know if you have any questions about the project. We would like to get the variance so we can proceed forward with construction this summer.
Is the beach area still pretty much going to remain as is for the most part?
The beach will actually shrink somewhat, but we are planning to have a ramp right in this location so people can actually go down and can use that. And we're going to encourage people to go in there and use it as a wading. It won't be guarded. The raft that typically was out there that people would swim to is not going to be installed. But we would certainly encourage anyone who wants to go down and use it just as building sandcastles or just getting wet or, playing in the water. They're basically going to be able to do that.
And is it guarded right now?
It is not.
It
No.
is not. And it hasn't been ever since it was closed?
No.
Okay.
It's swim at your own risk.
Right.
And just curious, the basic concept that'll make this park more attractive is what? I understand that you're working on a staged redevelopment, but what do you think will bring more traffic in?
Well, I think obviously by putting a splash pad, what we found at Miller Park, a splash pad is a high attraction. So you can bring in, parents with small children and they can go in and play all day long and then get out and head home, and they don't have to worry about getting in water too deep or swallowing, lake water.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you guys ever considered just abandoning the beach altogether, or is that just cost too much? I mean, or I don't know.
Well, we feel that there's still a value in having that beach there.
Okay. Fair.
I'd probably agree with that. To be honest, I remember when it was open, and it was a great place, and I know that a lot of people used it, and a lot of people swam. And to be honest, I didn't even know. I knew it was closed. I didn't know it was reopened again. So I think that's interesting. My miss, I guess. Okay. With that being said, Mr. Franson, do you have any comments from the other city staff perspective? I guess.
It is a variance that meets the three-part test for reasonable use, unique circumstances, and neighborhood character. And the staff recommendation is for the commission to approve final order 2012-02.
Okay. Thank you very much. Seeing that this is an open hearing, public hearing, is there anyone out in the audience? I don't see anybody. So with that being said, commissioners, do you have any other questions or comments?
I had one.
Okay, go ahead.
So I guess one question I had, you said you were going to restore that existing play area to turf. Is that mown lawn that you're talking about, or is it more of a native restoration space?
The upper area of it will be a mowed area, so people can go out and picnic on that area. But we're going to try and establish kind of what I call the filter edge, so that basically any water running in there is filtered rather than having turf mowed directly down to the water's edge. We've done that pretty much all the way around the lake. There's very few natural turf areas that go directly to the water's edge, just for water quality.
Good question. Okay, anything else?
I just have one quick question. It's kind of a self-serving question to a certain extent, but I noticed the design calls for basically redesign of the ball fields and also minusing one of the fields as well. Do you feel that's going to put a strain on the Park and Rec department as far as rec league softball? As far there's other sites in the city where we'll be able to host those games, as
Well,
terribly concerned about it.
We've heard that concern. We've also heard concerns about people saying the fences are too short. Those fences are 275 and 280 feet,
Right.
Which basically nowadays 300 feet is pretty much the standard for fields. But in conjunction with this, we're also looking at upscaling the two fields at Riley.
Okay.
So we will have two adult fields, lit fields out at Riley Lake Park. And the reason we can do it out there is because we have enough room to expand, and the youth fields that are currently there will be relocated over to the Flying Cloud expansion, which was just completed, which will be playable next year. So it's one thing leading to another. We will end up having essentially 6 lit adult fields. We've got one on the north side of Valley View. We have the 3 here and the 2 at Riley. So we'd actually end up gaining fields as far as lit fields, in the future.
Good news. Although I don't know about the fence news. That's bad news for me. I can just barely hit them over right now. Thanks.
I had one more question. Is there any consideration of expanding the community garden program into this space?
The community garden, you mean as far as renting?
Like, I know the city has 2 spots currently, over by the senior center and then another one over by Flying Cloud. Is there any thought about adding a 3rd site into this project?
Well, believe it or not, the original site for the community gardens it was at Round Lake on the north side where the 4 additional courts were, but we would not advocate putting community gardens in this spot. We feel that the Flying Cloud property that we lease from the MAC has about 85 gardens out there. We have another about 45 gardens at Pioneer Park. And based on yearly projections, it's interesting. Some years we have a long waiting list. Some years we're waiting for people to sign up. So it ebbs and flows with, I guess, interest in gardening.
Good question. Okay. Anything else? If not, I'll entertain.
Move to close the public hearing and recommend approval of final order 2012-02.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Very good. Congratulations, you can move forward with your project.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Franzen, are we having the Cumminsville Grill property conditional use permit?
I'm presenter and staff.
Oh, you
person
are?
Also recommends, yes.
Very good. Well,
Okay.
please move forward.
You know, for the coffee shop that you have in Eden Prairie Road has an existing conditional use permit. That was the first time we used that permit after we had changed our ordinance to allow for adaptive reuse. And the money that we gain from that, you put back into the building to kind of maintain its historic character over time. Historical Society currently leases the Cummins Phipps Grill Homestead on City Park property. So all the activities that are in here are somewhat similar to the ones that we've allowed over on the other property that we own. The money that they gain from this, part goes to the Historical Society and part goes for improvements that you want to make to this house over time. What the commission needs to do is to recommend approval of the permit. The actual legal document for the permit here is drafted by the attorney, is officially acted on at the city council after they hold a public hearing. What I've attached to this document is in the back of the Cummins Grill site restoration plan. And the reason why this is in here is that there's a limited amount of area outside where they can do certain activities because of all the improvements that are being done to the property to kind of restore the historical landscape to this area. So when I actually do the lease agreement, we're going to be attaching this document to it that spells out where the Historical Society can have certain activities outside. So we don't want them in the grasses, we don't want them in the peony gardens, or any other sort of landscape areas that we have out here. And we've talked with them about that, and they are okay with that, and they are okay with the permit the way in which that we've drafted this.
Very good, and I should state for public record, the location of the project is 13600 Pioneer Trail, and the request is for conditional use permit for additive reuse. Okay. So with that being said, yes, sir.
Yeah, just a question. Have you guys considered like a coffee house there? I know the dog park's right beyond there, and there's really nothing around there except for this room area.
We really haven't had very many inquiries into this particular structure.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I've never been in it, so I don't know if it would even set up well for it. But I know the other one. I go to that Dunn Brothers all the time. It's
We actually made an architectural addition to that building in order to make the coffee shop.
okay.
And so the city would have to commit some resources to be able to do that up front and have that paid back over time.
Okay.
But the decision was made for this particular building. The Historical Society was a perfect fit for this, and they've been doing a lot of activities there, a lot of improvements, raising money to do certain things. They just got a grant to put in a sprinkler system in the building, which is a good thing long-term for a city building.
Okay. Cool.
Mr. Francis, how long is that lease for the coffee shop in there right now?
I think we want it year to year.
Do we?
The one at Cummins Grill, or the one at Smith Douglas Moore, you mean?
No, the one at the...
Current one.
The-
Yeah.
This lease.
There's a coffee shop in this one.
Oh, there's, then maybe I'm confused as to,
The Smith Douglas Morehouse is the one where
Got
Dunn
it,
Brothers
okay, got it.
Coffee is. That's
Got it,
that's a
got it.
separate lease than this.
Okay.
This is the Cummins House, which is leased by the the Eden
Right.
Prairie Historical
I'm with you.
Society.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Any other comments?
No.
Seeing this is a public hearing, I'm not seeing anybody out in the audience. So with that being said, we can move forward. Yep.
Move to close the public hearing?
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Move to recommend approval of the conditional use permit 2012-01.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. You can move forward with that project. Thank you very much. And I understand the last one of the public hearings, the Master Technology Group Incorporated. The location of the project is 7550 Marketplace Drive. The request is for a planned unit development concept review on 2.93 acres, a planned unit development district review with waivers on 2.93 acres, a zoning district change from I-2 to office on 1.25 acres, and a site plan review on 2.93 acres. And I believe they have asked for this to be continued to the June, let me make sure I got this right, June 11, 2012?
That's correct, Mr.
Is that
Chairman.
correct? Okay. With that being said, I will need a motion for that.
Mr. Chair, move to recommend a continuance to the June 11th, 2012 meeting.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Moving on right along. Planners report, Mr. Franzen.
Mr. Chairman, we are not having a meeting on May 28th. That's the holiday. So our next available meeting is going to be June 11th.
Okay.
Currently, the only item we have scheduled at this point is the continued item, but we'll know within a week or so whether or not there'll be other public hearings scheduled.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any members' reports? Any continuing business? Any new business? If not, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting's closed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I need a
For all weekday Twins games, get on the bus. Southwest Transit is